She is the owner of J. Monroe Consulting and recently wrote her first book, a nonfiction book that chronicles the violations, mistakes, pains, and struggles she lived through and overcame. Would you please welcome Jackie Monroe? Y'all better rock with her. She's got her own energy.
Rock with me, ladies. Just for a minute. This is my song. Come on, just give me a minute. Rock with me real quick. Y'all know this song?
Yeah! Jackie, they need to get up. They have not been.
Come on. Rock with me, ladies. Come on, get up. Get up.
There you go. There you go.
I'm getting high, closer to my dreams. I'm getting higher, feeling in my sleep. Sometimes it feels like I'll never go past you.
Come on, y'all. Even if you don't know the song, listen to the words.
Sometimes it feels like forever, I'm going higher, closer to my dreams. I'm going higher, I can almost breathe.
Ladies, I love that song. What you think about that song? I love that song. That song really, really inspires me. The chorus, it's called Goapele, Goapele, and it's called Closer. It's on YouTube. You can find it a whole lot of places, but it's there. So,
What was it again?
it's called Closer, and the artist is Goapele, Goapele. And the chorus of this song says, I'm getting higher, closer to my dreams. And if she never spoke another word in that song, that is enough for me. That says it right there for me. What about you?
Yeah.
Isn't that moving enough for you? And that's what we're all striving for, right? I know that sometimes it seems like things are not falling into place and things are not happening as fast as we would like for them to be. And we begin to wonder if all of our hard work is in vain. And I know I feel like that sometimes. And when I do, of course I pray. And then I play my song. And that usually inspires me. It recharges me. And it helps me to regain my focus on what my dreams really are. And I know that I'm going to get there sooner or later. Now, I'm assuming that you all are here today because you want to be inspired and empowered to power your way forward, which is the theme of this conference today. Is that right? That's why you guys came today? Okay. All right, we're on the same page. Okay, well, you came here today to get some insight and some encouragement that will help you to go higher and get closer to your dreams. And we're so glad that you decided to join us today. So let me keep this train moving by sharing with you what was placed on my heart to share. And so I'm going to just jump right on in here. So understand this. Before any powering forward or any moving closer to our dreams will happen, we need to come to terms with this one thing. We have some issues. Yes, that's what I said. We have some issues. And notice I said we, because that includes me too. We might not all have the same issues, and there might be a variance in the level of issues that we have, but we definitely do have them. So tell the lady next to you, girl, I got some issues. Tell her. Come on now. Let's be honest about this thing. Let's be honest. You can even turn around and tell the person behind you if you want to. Let's be honest. We have some issues. We do have some issues. And in order to bring forth any level of personal growth, you have to be honest with yourself about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we have issues with our families. We got issues with our friends, our co-workers. You mad because your neighbor's sprinklers keep coming on and getting your car wet. You mad at your church members. And oh, the meteorologist, you really get mad at that person. They said it was only going to be a 20% chance of rain, and it rained on your fresh car wash or your $100 hairdo that you just went and got. You really have issues with them. We have issues with some of everybody and some of everything sometimes. And ladies, you know that at any moment we are on the mark and ready to handle these people at all times. Whatever method it is that you choose to handle people, y'all know y'all be ready at all times. We do. Now, I named a few things and situations of those typical issues that we have, but let's be clear about one thing. The person that we have the biggest issues with the most is ourselves. Oh, you guys already know that? That's wonderful. That's great. We are definitely, we right here. Oftentimes the issues that we have within ourselves are what cause us to have the other issues with the other people and the other things. We have some stuff that we need to deal with within ourselves. And one of the main internal issues that women have is holding on to things for way too long. Y'all know y'all hold on to stuff. You got some stuff right now. We'll grab onto something and hold on to it like our lives depend on it, even though we know we should have let it go a long time ago. We hold on to bad feelings. We hold on to thoughts and old values and beliefs. And we hold on to unhealthy personality traits that we know are unbecoming to us as women. You know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. So a lot of things we hold on to, they stagnate us. And they keep us from powering forward so that we can move closer to our dreams. And for some reason, we get comfortable holding on to the things that hurt us. I don't know where that came from, but it's true. I can attest to this myself because this is something that I was very good at doing myself. As mentioned before, I just recently released a book in March called Broken But Not Destroyed. Restoration is Possible. This book is my personal testimony. And in this book, there's a chapter called Release and Receive. Now, this is not the first chapter in the book, but it is the first chapter that I wrote. And I wrote that chapter first because I was at a place where I recognized that there were some things going on that I needed to get rid of. In this chapter, I talk about the importance of releasing ourselves from things that are hindering us and serve no meaningful purpose in our lives. And this will help us to make room for those things that will feed us and nourish our goals and our dreams. Somewhere down the line, we allowed ourselves to become so full of stuff and mess and garbage that we don't have room to receive anything else. And a part of that mess are those issues that we just talked about a few minutes ago. Now, when I wrote that chapter, I knew at that moment that it was necessary for me to release. I was overflowing with junk from my childhood and other things that I had suppressed for many, many years. It's a dangerous thing to suppress things. It's a very mentally and emotionally dangerous thing, a spirit-killing thing to suppress things. And I was doing that for so many, many years. I didn't have enough space to receive the deliverance, the restoration, and the growth that I was really trying to receive because I didn't have any room for any of that. I had to identify the stuff that I needed to release and get rid of. But first, I had to figure out how I got to that place to begin with. Hurt is one of the most common things that we hold on to. Pain becomes permanent in our lives, and we allow it to take up residency in our hearts and in our minds and in our spirits to the point where we speak pain, we behave like a person in pain, and we may not even realize it. And of course, I think I heard somebody mention yesterday, hurt people hurt other people. That's because we haven't developed the courage to serve notice and evict that pain so that we can release it. You have the power to do that. You own that dwelling. You can evict, but you got to be ready to do it. And this pain has stunted our growth and weighed us down, and it's prevented us from moving forward with opportunities, relationships, spiritual growth, and personal and professional growth as well. Do you guys get what I'm saying when I'm talking about this stuff that's holding us back? If you do, say yes indeed.
Yes, indeed.
All right. We still right here. I know that as I speak right now, some of you are thinking about the issues within yourself that you need to release. Who thought about something? We're being honest today. Raise your hand. You thought about something? You know you need to let it go. That's a good thing. Tell that lady next to you, release it. Tell her. Tell her from the bottom of your heart to let it go.
Let it go.
Now tell yourself to let it go. Now I don't know what it is. Okay, all right, okay. I don't know what it is, but you do. It keeps you up at night. It interrupts your thoughts. It won't give you any peace at all. But I know somebody who will. And until you let go and allow yourself to be released from it, you will never be able to power forward to the place that God would like for you to take at this hour and in this season of your life. Stop thinking about it. Stop wondering about it. And stop caring about what people think about you. Who cares? Okay. You should never, ever allow any of the issues you have power over your life. We have relinquished our power to everything and everybody. Where did that come from? We just decided to give control to other people and other things. And you need to learn how to take your power back. Now, releasing is going to require you to take several steps. And one of them is you have to give yourself permission to heal. You have to give yourself permission to heal from that which has hurt you. But before you even get to that point, you have to acknowledge what and who has hurt you. And then you have to accept that it happened. And with the acceptance comes you accepting your part in the situation if you have some responsibility for it. We're quick to point the finger and lay the blame, but we are slow to examine ourselves. Nobody likes to do that. No one likes to do that. Sometimes some of our hurt and pain comes from things that we have inflicted upon ourselves or that we have allowed in our life, and we have to be accountable for those things. True healing is only going to come along when you are able to be accountable. I'm sorry, guys, if this is not the kind of empowering word that you thought you were going to hear from me today. Empowerment doesn't always come in a nice, pretty package with a nice, big, pretty bow. Sometimes that empowerment is going to come from you hearing the things that you don't really like to hear. So again, like I said, I'm only giving to you what has been given to me to give to you. And I prayed about it, so I'm okay with it. So let me be clear about this. I know that there are some things that you absolutely have no control over that have affected your life. I'm not talking about those things. But for the things you know you played a part in, own it. It's yours. Pick it up, grab it, get it. Don't try to put it off on anybody else. You may have never admitted your part in a situation before, but make today the day that you do that. Today. We're going to do it today, okay? We're releasing, and we're going to be admitting some stuff to ourselves. You know, this is not confession to everybody, but I just want you to be thinking about these things. And I want you to be able to admit some things that you have not ever admitted to before today. And once you get through the process of acknowledging and accepting, you need to forgive yourself. That's very important. And not only do you need to forgive yourself, you need to forgive those who hurt you. And I know that that is not an easy thing to do. And it might take you some time to get there. Some of these things are not instant. Some things there's a process, but it's still a must. And it's something that you need to do for your own deliverance. So you acknowledge, you accept, and you forgive, and then you give yourself that permission to heal. You know, when you guys go to the doctor's office or to the ER, you got to sign all these forms and papers. You over here about to die, and they want you to sign all this stuff first. You're like, can I just get a room, please? Well, you know, they're doing that because they need to get your consent. The doctors, the nurses, the respiratory therapists, the lab technician, anybody that's going to take any part in your treatment, you have to give them consent to treat you. Now, you need to give yourself the same consent. The healing will not begin until you do these things. So don't continue to walk around confused and wondering why things haven't changed and why you still feel the same way you've always been feeling if you continue to refuse treatment and if you don't give yourself permission to heal. This treatment can come in different forms, but the most important thing about giving yourself permission to heal is that it will allow God to come in and cleanse your heart. But you have to make room for Him, and you need to release some things so that He can find some space to get in there and do what He needs to do in your life. The healing process can be very painful, and you may have to cry, but that's okay. Your tears are a cleanser of the soul. And some of you have never ever one time cried about some of the things that have hurt you. You've been hurting so bad and you haven't shed one tear. Maybe it's because you don't want to seem like a weak person. Maybe it's because you're just stubborn. Maybe it's because you are still holding on to that pain. When you cry, you release. So maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you do need to cry. You have to release in order to receive. So consider this. In order to begin the process of releasing yourself from the issues that have hindered you and your progress for so long, you need to flip. F-L-I-P. I have an acronym for that, so if you want to write it down, here we go. So flip means to change or to turn a page. We have been on the same page for too long, and we've been riding in reverse and neutral for way too long, and it's time for you to change gears because your transmission is about to burn out. Y'all know the transmission makes the vehicle move. And if you're burning out, there's not going to be any movement. So the F in flip, forgive. Forgive yourself and others. The L, listen. Pay attention to what your body, heart, and intuition are saying. They're speaking to you for a reason. We just don't like to listen to it. Investigate. Figure out where it all began so you can find the root and kill it. The P is for proceed. Continue to move forward with your life responsibly, with dignity, grace, and unapologetically. Your power is in the release. So once again, my book is called Broken But Not Destroyed, Restoration is Possible. My author name is J. Monroe. It can be purchased at Amazon.com or at BarnesandNobles.com. But before we go, there's one more thing I would like for you to do. I would like for you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I solemnly do promise that I will release myself of self-sabotaging behavior and dream killing issues, and I will end the beef that I have with myself today. Now power your way forward.